So I have a friend who used to work at a big marketing firm, 40 plus hours a week, client meetings, tight deadlines, back to back Zoom calls. You know the drill. Every night she'd close her work laptop, breathe for a second, and then open another one, her real laptop, the one with her name on the wallpaper, the one that's for the side hustle. And no one really saw that version of her, the version that stayed up late watching Canva tutorials, searching YouTube for how to build a website from scratch, learning how Instagram and email funnels actually work. She wasn't just hustling, she was becoming. And over time, without quitting her job, without a trust fund, and without going viral, she built a business, a consulting brand that let her walk away from her 9 to 5 and take her work with her anywhere in the world. And today I want to talk to you about exactly how you can do the same. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, welcome to the Jamelia Greer Show, the podcast where we explore entrepreneurship through a global lens. And it's especially for those of you looking to leave your corporate job and build something new, something bold, something that is truly yours. If you've been wondering how to test your business idea while still collecting a paycheck, this episode is for you. So here's the truth. You do not need to quit your job to start a business. And I talked about this last week when I talked about how do you know if it's time to leave your 9 to 5? And a lot of you really enjoyed that episode. So I thought it would make sense for us to dig a little bit deeper into the fact that you don't need to quit your job to start learning and to start strategizing and to start with your ideas. In fact, staying employed while starting your side hustle might be one of the smartest and safest ways to grow. Why is that? Well, it's because your full-time job is your first investor. It gives you the cash flow, the security, and if you're strategic, the skills to test and build without desperation, without that feeling of I need to monetize like yesterday. And this approach is not about playing small. It's about playing smart. You're creating runway. You're building something on the side that gives you options and flexibility. And we all know that that flexibility is freedom. So let's talk about this from a practical standpoint. Whenever we talk about this transition from the corporate life to entrepreneurship, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of concerns. And I know some of you are thinking, yeah, I'm too tired after work to do anything. Or what if my employer finds out? Or what if I start something and it doesn't work? So let's break those fears down. I want to talk about each one of those today. Let's start with, I'm too tired after work. Okay, fair. Maybe you have kids at home. Maybe you're a single parent and you're just exhausted. But let's be real. Some of you are not too tired to scroll. Some of you are not too tired to binge on Netflix. What if I told you that just like 3 hours a week going towards your business would be so much more beneficial than doing that? And that's 156 hours in a year. A lot can be built in that time. So let's not use being too tired after work as an excuse. If you make a minor change, a minor adjustment in how you spend your time, you can see huge results in a year. And let's be real, a year is going to pass by anyway. Let's address the next one. What if they find out? Simple. Don't build a conflict of interest. If you work in fintech, do not start out a side hustle where you are launching a competing fintech startup on the side. Stay in a different lane. Make sure you read your employment agreement. And if you need to, consult a lawyer. I don't want anyone to listen to this episode and think, oh, Jamelia told me to go out and breach my employment agreement. That's not what I'm saying. Make sure you read it. Make sure you stay in line with what it's telling you to do and stay clean and stay clear. But being clean and clear does not mean you don't act, right? So you still need to use your time outside of work to grow your skills. The third concern that people say is, well, what if I do this and it doesn't work out? Well, then you've learned, right? Then you've learned how to use Canva. Then you've learned how to build a website. You've learned about social media. You've sharpened your skills. You've built your network and you still have your job. You literally lose nothing. What if it grows enough to replace your salary? How about that? And what if it opens doors you didn't even see before? I think a lot of us get caught in this thinking negative kind of mindset and mantra. And sometimes it's tough to break out of that. But in this case, why don't you change the question from what if it doesn't work to what if it does work? So let's get practical. Here's what you can and should be doing right now if you have a business idea. 1, need to learn in the shadows. Use this time to upskill. YouTube, online courses, AI tools, podcasts like this one. Train like an entrepreneur before you even take the leap. 2nd, test small. You don't need a logo. You don't need a website. Do not spend thousands on branding. Just test your offer. Can you get someone to pay you for a product or service? That's the real proof. 3rd, and I love this one, buy digital real estate. Start by building an email list. Email lists are so valuable. Document your journey, build that visibility, and don't let your whole business live inside your head. You have to take action. And lastly, this one is probably the most important. Protect your peace and your time. When we think about side hustle, I think a lot of people just hear the word hustle. And the hustle culture, let me tell you, that's not what we're going for. You don't need to hustle 24/7. You do need to be intentional. Pick 2 to 3 focused hours per week. Treat them like business meetings. No reschedules, no distractions, and let that be your quiet time. So here's your reminder. You don't have to leap without a parachute. You can build your wings while standing on solid ground. And your job isn't the enemy, it's a bridge. You just need to be the architect of what's on the other side of that. If this resonated with you, share this episode with a friend who's secretly building something too. And if you're ready to go deeper, you can join our mailing list, the Arbitrage Mindset. The link should be in the show notes below. And you'll hear from me weekly about insights and what I've learned in building my business abroad. Until next time, keep dreaming big, moving smart, and building global. Take care. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in and listening to today's episode. You know, I appreciate when you guys tune in and the time that you take to listen to the show and support us. And I have one thing that I'd love for you to do that would really help us out, which is rate the show. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you rate it. You can do it on whatever platform you're listening on. That would do wonders for us. And if you really want to be a super fan and really support the show, there's a link below that you can support us and donate a small monthly contribution, which allows us to continue to create great content for you. Thanks so much again. Appreciate you and see you next time.